On this episode of The Sequence, I will show you how to make jungle tracks on the MPC ONE, X, or Live. The Sequence. What is going on, people? Like, what's really going on? Because it's not trap I'm talking about, it's not hip hop I'm talking about, it's jungle. Or is it? Because trap and hip hop actually carry the same elements as jungle. What really makes me want to dive into this is my experience as a younger producer on the come up. Yes, I used to be young. I used to play a game called Killer Instinct. It was on the Super NES, and with that, it came with a soundtrack called Killer Cuts. And on that Killer Cut soundtrack was something really dope called It's a Jungle. And that really inspired me. I had the link in the description box so you can check it out. What I really want to know is, what is your favorite jungle or drum and bass track if you really like jungle or drum and bass? I definitely want to hear from you guys. And another soundtrack that I really liked on the video game was the PlayStation, the original one, Tekken. Yeah, Boomer Energy. But yeah, really dope stuff. But what really makes jungle really unique to me is the fact of the way it was produced, because it did use AKAI samplers, but it used the S1000 and the S1100, which were dope samplers at the time that had time stretch. Yes, AKAI did that first. But what really makes it unique is that they used the Amiga too as well, which I had too, and they used what you call trackers. And these use hexadecimal, and they were used by a whole bunch of video game soundtrack composers and a whole bunch of jungle-based producers. So I'm gonna do this on the MPC, and I definitely want to hear from you guys of other genres you want me to explore. If this is your first time checking out the MPC ONE and you want to learn more, I highly recommend the video at the top right of the screen or in the description, because I'm about to dive right into the more advanced stuff about the MPC ONE as I build up this track. So I'm gonna assign samples here. I'm in a drum track, and I'm gonna go to my browser, and from here I'm just gonna load some samples. So I'm gonna load the samples momentarily. Let's hear those. I like that. Get some more volume. If you're wondering, I will have a download link of all my free drum breaks and stuff like that. It was provided by Music Radar, so shout out to Music Radar. And let's go ahead and assign the samples here. So let's assign the first one. From here, I'm going to press the program edit button that's on the MPC ONE. It's exclusive to this one right here. And I'm going to go to polyphony. I'm going to do one voice of polyphony, or actually more than one voice. And you'll understand that. So the next thing I'm going to do here is go into the browser, and I'm going to grab some stuff from the expansions here. I can go and grab stuff from the F9 expansion, like an 808. From the drum program, I'm gonna warp samples. So let's go ahead and warp the samples here. And it's a pretty easy process. You just go ahead and go through all your samples and warp them. So the way that time stretch works on here is that it will detect drum loops very good, to be honest, but it doesn't detect melodies that great because of the different transient types, and I'll go more on that in another video. But here we go. You hear that? And I'm gonna go up to the BPM and play that. Set this BPM to about 169, 66. I like that. I'm going to go ahead and set this thing up for success here. Let's go ahead and record this in real quick. Sounds a tad bit off, so I'm going to go on the grid here. Okay, cool. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to go press the eyeball sign. I'm going to grab a low pass filter, trim off that extra part. All right. I'm gonna go in here and double length about until we get to 8 bars, because 8 bars in double time is actually 4 bars. And that's gonna be the basics of this sequence and when we start to go into other things. So I'm gonna go ahead and lay down the melody. We got a plugin pulled up here. It's TubeSynth basically. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab one of my favorite presets from TubeSynth, and it's in pads here. And I will tell you the name, Emotive Pad, and let's hear it. What I'm gonna do is go into chords, actually progressions, and from progressions, I'm gonna grab a chord. I'm gonna grab this chord progression, house. What I'm gonna do now is this. I'm gonna go into the pencil sign, and then I'm gonna go to copy sequence. I'm gonna name this one main. Okay, so that's gonna be main. Boom. So after that, do it. I'm gonna switch things up in track number 2 and mess with another thing. Now let's go ahead and use 16 levels on this one. Make sure that you're in tune and use that drum tape. I almost forgot. Let me go into program edit real quick, and I'm gonna actually change this program a little bit. So let's go into master, and then I'm gonna lower the semitones. And you don't have to worry about anything as long as you have it warped, because I want that slapping a little lower. So back in the main here, overdub. Here and make sure everything is right. All right, so everything is right here. So what I'm going to do in this sequence is change the synth sound. So let's go over here to track number 2, since we're on sequence number 2. And this is actually the power of the MPC right here, is the multiple sequences that you can use. I'm gonna go over here and let's change the octave, or to transpose it up a little bit, and you'll hear it then. So from here, let's go into track number 3, and then I'm gonna go into pad performance. Another key feature here, from progressions, you can go into note, and then you have your bass. Now we're on the third sequence here, and this is more of a bridge here. So I can do different things and just flip it up. I want to keep this as coherent as possible, so I'm going to use this again, but I'm going to layer it with another drum break. Now I'm back in 16 level, and the 16 level is in tune. So what I want to do is go into note repeat. So I'm going to double tap note repeat and play with some signatures. Let's lay that down, overdubbing that. Let's go in the main here, another sequence, and then we're gonna do another, like a hook or something like that. You know the vibes here. I'm just gonna copy and paste and rinse and repeat and drop another track on there. So nothing to see here. Let's try that. Have some feedback here. Heard something in clacks. Chord it. Okay, so we're done with the track. Let's go to the next sequence, and you'll see I have 5 different sequences to play with. So I'm gonna play with those. I'm gonna drop the beat. It's gonna come in heavy. Let's go. Wait a minute. My bad. There's one thing I want to tell you guys that are just getting into the MPCs now. Remember, the S950 and all those different machines could get lo-fi. So can these. So what I did right here was I pressed the eyeball sign and went to the king sign, which means the master. So I'm going into the master track here, and I'm gonna add an effect. I'm gonna add this effect that is called this right here. If I can get to it, harmonics, air lo-fi. And from air lo-fi, I'm just gonna turn it on and go to the Q link right here and take it down to 12 bits so we can get some crunch somewhere around there. And then around like 22.7 kilohertz. Perfect. Now, let's drop the beat. So tell me how you feel about this video. I definitely want to hear from you guys in the comment section if it really helped you out or whatnot, because there are other genres, definitely drum and bass, that I'm going to explore, as well as house and other things too as well, because all this music really matters to the MPC, and I definitely want to explore it. So let me know what you feel. Share your favorite video game soundtrack that had jungle or drum and bass. I definitely want to hear from you guys because I want to listen. Remember to check out Tekken and check out Killer Instinct, because those soundtracks are really dope, and there's plenty more where I can reference to in different videos.